They tossed my old suitcase onto the frozen driveway like it was a bag of trash. My mother told me to call an Uber while my father calmly smoked a cigar on the porch, completely unfazed that his daughter was being thrown out into a snowstorm. What they didn't know was that by midnight, a $46 million transfer would land in my bank account, and by morning they would be calling me nonstop. My name is Emma. I was 33 and thought I already understood how cruel my family could be. That night proved I didn't. The icy wind bit my face as my suitcase popped open on the concrete and clothes spilled across the snow. I knelt to gather them while my mother, Linda, stood on the porch wrapped in a cashmere shawl. "It's just business, Emma," she said coldly. "Your brother Ryan and his wife Chloe need the guest house for their expanding real estate company. You're 33, it's time to stand on your own." I stood slowly. "Stand on my own?" I asked. "I've paid the property taxes here for 5 years. I paid for the roof repairs. I pay your utilities." My father, Thomas, stepped outside with his cigar. "Don't talk to your mother like that," he growled. "Ryan is building a real business. Chloe's family brings powerful connections. And you? You sit in the dark clicking on computers." Chloe smiled politely. "We're sure you'll find a small apartment somewhere in the city," she said sweetly. Ryan spun his Porsche keys and smirked. "Yeah, sis. Time for you to leave the nest." They had no idea I had spent 5 years secretly building a cybersecurity startup with a partner. And they definitely didn't know the company had just been sold 3 hours earlier. "Fine," I said quietly. "I'll get out of your way." An Uber pulled up. I got inside and checked my phone. A message from my partner appeared: the deal closed. I opened my banking app. Balance, $46 million. For the first time in years, I felt calm. "Where to?" the driver asked. "The Four Seasons," I said. That night I checked into the presidential suite, took a long hot shower, turned my phone to silent, and slept better than I had in a decade. When I woke up the next morning, my phone showed 83 missed calls. Most were from my parents. The rest were from Ryan and Chloe. Something had clearly changed. I opened the news. The top headline on the Wall Street Journal read, "Cybersecurity startup sold for $200 million. Co-founder Emma revealed." Below the headline was my photo. Now they understood. I went downstairs to breakfast, but peace lasted only minutes. "Emma, there you are." My mother rushed across the restaurant, followed by my father, Ryan, and Chloe. They had tracked my location through the family phone plan. My mother hugged me dramatically. "We were so worried about you last night." My father sat down like he owned the place. "We always believed in you," he said proudly. "Sometimes tough love is necessary. Kicking you out motivated you." Ryan got straight to the point. He slid a contract across the table. "My real estate fund needs liquidity," he said. "Invest $15 million. Keep the wealth in the family." I stared at him. "You threw me out last night so you could turn my home into an office. And now you want $15 million? Ryan rolled his eyes. "You've got $46 million. Think of it as paying the family back." I looked at them. No, the smiles disappeared instantly. My mother gasped. "How selfish can you be?" Ryan leaned forward, his voice turning threatening. "You built that software using a laptop Dad bought you in college. Legally, we own half of your company. Sign the contract or we'll sue you." I studied him calmly. Then I ripped the contract in half. My answer is still no. The next hour proved my family had truly lost their minds. They actually filed a lawsuit claiming they owned half my company because I used a computer purchased in their house. My lawyer, Michael, wasn't worried. In court the next morning, the judge barely listened before asking for proof. Ryan's lawyer proudly presented the receipt for the laptop. My lawyer calmly handed over a manufacturer usage log. That laptop had never been used for programming. It had been registered to Ryan and used for 6,000 hours of online gaming. The judge slammed the file shut. "Case dismissed. And you owe the court $10,000 for wasting our time." Ryan's face turned white. But I wasn't finished. Because while my family was trying to steal my company, I had quietly purchased something else. Their debt. Ryan's real estate fund was actually drowning in loans. My parents had signed the deed to their mansion as collateral. Through a corporate shell company, I bought that debt, which meant I now legally own the house. 2 days later, Ryan hosted a charity gala at the estate, hoping to raise millions to save his failing scheme. Hundreds of wealthy donors arrived. So did I. I walked up the stairs in a charcoal suit while the orchestra stopped playing. My father shouted for security. Throw her out. She's trespassing. I held up a folder. Actually, I said calmly, this property belongs to me now. Gasps spread through the crowd. I explained Ryan's Ponzi scheme and showed the foreclosure documents. Investors backed away immediately. Then police sirens echoed down the driveway. Federal agents arrived and arrested Ryan for fraud and tax evasion. Chloe instantly turned on him to save herself. My parents stood frozen as auditors began tagging everything in the mansion. Olivia, Emma, please, my mother cried. Don't take our home. You told me to call an Uber during a blizzard, I replied. I gave them 15 minutes to pack one suitcase each. Security escorted them out. Their cars were seized. They walked down the driveway carrying cheap luggage. 6 months later, the mansion was gone. I demolished it and built something better. The land now holds the Apex Innovation Center, a technology incubator for underprivileged female founders. Ryan is serving a 15-year federal sentence. Chloe divorced him and disappeared after the scandal. My parents now live in a small apartment and work retail jobs. They wrote me once asking for money. I shredded the letter, because the greatest lesson I learned was this: being the family scapegoat can become your greatest strength. When toxic people push you away, they accidentally teach you how to survive without them. And sometimes the moment they throw you out into the storm is the exact moment you finally become free.